You're listening to Thumb Tailgater Sports. I'm Eddie Ferry back here with the Thumb Sports Writers Association first team all Thumb boys basketball team. And with me right now from the NCTL South, Carsonville-Port Sanilac Tigers, Calvin Amey, and also Kyle Hall of the Marlette Red Raiders. I tell you what, it's pretty neat here to have two players. Calvin from CPS Tigers, you guys were the NCTL South champions. You also was given the Defensive Player of the Year award. Kyle Hall with the Marlette Red Raiders, you guys had your up and downs throughout the last couple of years, but this year you really made a statement and grabbing that Greater Thumb East title also in a big notable game here. And I'll start with you first. Big notable game that we had covered also was against Harbor Beach, and you had to win that game. You probably had played one of your best games of the season also against a tough, young Harbor Beach team here, but did pretty darn well in that game. From what I saw, you were hitting the free throws, you were playing defensively, you were throwing out the assists, you were just making shots after shot in that game. You think that was probably the defining game of the season for you as a team?
Well, yeah, we knew we needed to get that to at least get a share of the league, and defensively as a whole, as like the whole team, we played really great because we knew they had good shooters, and they didn't have one single great shooter. They just had like all of them kind of a big night, so we couldn't just like focus in on one. So.
In fact, it was a pretty much wide open Greater Thumb East, pretty tough. I mean, you would also have to throw in Brown City. You can't look past them, even though they've had a down couple of years here. But when they're ready to play, yeah, they're kind of like a trap game, you would say. Also, one of the biggest games offensively and defensively here. I'm going to go out the stats here. 264 points throughout the season, 13 points per game. You had a season high 21 against Brown City. 141 rebounds is what you had as throughout the regular season. You think that was something I think the coach, probably your head coach, by the way, who was coach of the year, I do believe, also for us. The focus was on getting rebounds and keeping ball control also for you.
Well, yeah, because we're a running team and we need to get the rebound and get out and run because we have just a bunch of quick guys who can get up and down the court, and that's the main point of our offense is to get up and down the court.
And you're a senior now, and now what will you do after this now?
I'm either going to play basketball at Alma, Rochester, or Aquinas. Probably not Aquinas because they're really far away, but I'm visiting Alma and Rochester later this week, so I'm going to make my decision after that.
So you definitely do have a basketball career after high school?
I'm definitely going to be playing at one of the two. They already said that I can play that.
You also took on some tough competition, and I'm going to ask you this also, Calvin. Saginaw BV, you got whooped by them, but this is what the NCTL and Greater Thumb Conference needs to do, and I think some of the head coaches are taking advantages to take on those tough teams to know where your level is at competitively. You took them on late in the season. Although you got beat handedly, did that help you later on in the season?
Well, that kind of like, cause if any bubble we would have had of thinking that we're really good because we're like ahead in league and all that, that just helps bring you down to size, knowing that there's a lot better teams out there and gets us ready for districts.
Okay, let's go to Calvin Amey of the Carsonville-Port Sanilac Tigers, 6'3" junior. You'll be back next year. Last couple of years here, you've kept an eye and seen the papers here on Calvin here. Kyle, I'll get your assessment of Calvin here. You never got to play against him. Do you wish you could?
I do wish we could.
Just to see where you're at competitively, huh?
Like we did get a scrimmage on, but he was hurt, so never actually got to.
Calvin, 357 points, 17.85 points. You had a season high against 30 points against Akron Fairgrove, who were no slouches, of course, this year. They'll be coming back with a lot of talent next year. 35 assists, 53 steals. You're also Defensive Player of the Year. How do you feel about that, making the first team, also in the running as Player of the Year, but also picked as Defensive Player of the Year?
Oh, it's a great honor. I'm just happy to be here, and anything that's being in this team is a great honor for anybody.
And I think you're the lone NCTL player, and it's really tough. I mean, last year a player that you played against was Sean Clancy, Player of the Year last year also, and here he is. Here you are representing the NCTL. I mean, it's tough for the NCTL players to get in, but you got in.
Yeah, we're definitely not as strong as the GTC, but so we try.
But the thing that your team did take advantage was take on some competition. Finally, your season opened up there. The NCTL hopefully will keep that up. Do you agree? You want to see that?
Oh yeah, definitely. We want to play the other competition. I mean, everybody in our league we'll play once, but other than that, we want to get out and play somebody who's a better game for us.
You have Sandusky and Ubly that was on your schedule this season. Both losses, but you stuck in that game through the third quarters there. You think you can play better after that, though, next season?
Yeah, we're looking forward to playing everybody. We definitely want to play teams out of our league. So.
Winning the NCTL South title was one of the goals. You did it again for the second year as a row. Also having little brother Connor on the team and having a head coach as your father. How tough is that?
Oh, I tell everybody that everybody else gets away from it after basketball practice, but at home we're watching game film and taking stats and everything. So, yeah, it's definitely a little harder than.
I want to let you know also who wins in the backyard. I know there's some hoops game that goes on between you three. Who wins that?
I think I win out of them all, and I'm pretty sure my dad still beats my brother. But as soon as he hears this, he won't be too happy to hear that I said that. But I'm thinking Dad wins.
Now, of course, we focus on the regular season. Both you guys did go into the districts. You lost in the district semifinals to New Haven, who did go on to win that district championship and ended up losing to Saginaw BV, I do believe.
Yeah, they did.
And so Saginaw BV's actually in the quarterfinals as we speak on this Tuesday, March 22nd, when we're recording this interview here. That was a tough district draw for you guys there. You had Vassar and New Haven. They're easy in the first round, of course. Mayville's Mayville. But coming in to face New Haven, what was that like?
Well, we knew that they had like Tyler Smith, they're really good guard, and Robert Farr, who's great post. He's huge and he can just force his way in anywhere. So we knew we had to stop both of them. And we focused a little more on their post, and we did a good job of stopping him. But the way they really killed us was they were a lot more aggressive towards the boards, and they got out early and we could never catch up. We stayed even with them once they got ahead by about 7, but then we never could break down the lead. So
in the regular season, you earned that Greater Thumb East title pretty much second to last week. You grabbed that share of the title. It was tough. But it's good to get those split games, or if you can sweep them. You did against Sandusky. You split games with Harbor Beach. You split games with another Greater Thumb East rival, Ubly. How tough was the regular season as a whole?
It's always hard in the East. And you have to thank Sandusky because their wins against Ubly and Harbor Beach, if they hadn't gotten those, it would have been a 3-way tie.
Yeah.
But even when like you said about Brown City, you can't take anybody for granted because anybody can always upset anybody. And coming into the season, we knew that we were pretty much in line with Ubly and Harbor Beach and Sandusky.
And in NCTL, you were undefeated as a whole, playing NCTL teams. The toughest team was Peck, and they were the ones who beat you guys, I think, last year for the district in the districts. And although you didn't get to face and seek revenge this year in the districts, Deckerville took care of that for you guys in the districts at Deckerville. But you did beat them twice in the regular season, but they were both tough games. One was in overtime.
Yeah, that was definitely an intense game. Double overtime, but and thankfully Matt Falls hit the final shot and we got the W.
Matt Falls, by the way, is our 6th player of the year coming off the bench.
He's also shooting in the 3-point contest the state meet this Saturday, so
very cool.
Qualified for that.
So with Peck, you took care of that. Was that a good wake-up call as a team? Because it seems like sometimes you get kind of lax when you get comfortable.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. After winning by 1, you come out of that game just saying, I don't know how we got the win there. And definitely, it kind of showed us that we're more.
You got a lot of good talent coming back again this year. You guys were a young team for the CPS Tigers. Last year, like I said, Peck defeat you guys in the districts. You got your district championship this year. That's the next step there. You went to the regionals, came in there maybe, I would say, whoa.
Yeah,
you came in there with your heads caught with a deer in headlights, got beat by a pretty good team, Genesee Christian.
Yeah, it was definitely a culture shock for us.
58-54 was that score there. But the next goal now, of course, when you come back next year, get back to winning the regular season, move on to the districts, and now your next goal, I would say, would be the regionals.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's something that CPS hasn't done yet, and that's our goal. We plan to win a regional title. But.
So that's one of your goals, improvement as a player. You think you can get better?
Yes. Anybody can always get better, and hopefully I do.
How about you?
Well, playing at college, you don't see very many 6'5" posts, so I'll probably be more of a 3 or a 4. So I'm gonna have to improve my dribbling and ball handling a lot, just so I can play at that level.
All right, thank you. Callie Hall of the Marlette Red Raiders, moving on to college. Calvin Amey got another year of high school basketball. Thanks, guys, for stopping by.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.